What's going on, guys? It's Zach and Nate, and welcome back to Into the Weird podcast. And today we're going to be talking about guns. We're going to be talking about
Oh,
the NRA. Yeah.
oh no, guys! We're talking about guns. Hide all the guns, guys.
Oh, God. Government's going to come. They going to take my guns. Somebody going to get a bullet to the face.
I like that slogan, man. That's the most stupidest slogan ever. Come take my guns.
It's like, come and take them, boy. No, Nate, I want to hear your opinion, buddy. Do you think that we should ban guns, or do you think that what's your take on this whole gun debate?
I think the gun debate should have been closed a long time ago. Yeah, there is some maniacs out there that get their hands on them, but I don't think there should be a gun ban, man. Like I said, man, I have a natural right to defend myself with whatever means necessary. So if I want to defend myself with a knife, a stick, or an AK-47 with a 60-round drum, hey, that's my natural right, man.
Yeah.
You got to protect yourself somehow or another.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, people always, there's a common misconception where, like, if you, well, for instance, the leftist media and basically the whole left, their whole thought process is, well, if we ban guns, there will be no crime, which is not possible. Because if I wanted to, I could kill you with a knife. I could kill you with a piece of string. I mean, I could kill you with anything. I don't need a gun. If somebody is determined enough to kill somebody, a gun is the last thing that they would need.
Oh yeah, man. You can end somebody's life with anything. But it's funny to see the leftists like, oh, you should take your guns away. So they're going to like to be oppressed by guns? Like, who else? Who do you think is going to have guns if the citizens can't have guns?
Yeah, it's crazy to hear people say those kind of things because, and let's say even if they did ban guns, well, I mean, it's not going to stop criminals from getting guns because whether they're smuggled in from another country or something like that, there will always be guns. You can't get rid of them, and I don't care. Like I said, the leftist media and all of the people opposed to gun rights and guns, period, they don't see that kind of stuff.
Of course, man. Like, even if the government did take all the guns away, there'd be such a big black market for them out there. It would actually make things completely worse. I mean, it'd make it, man, it'd be like war zones on the streets. You wouldn't be able to do anything without getting shot by some maniac or something.
Yeah, no doubt. And the debate's always brought up about like New York and Chicago. Like in Illinois, the state of Illinois, the gun laws are absolutely ridiculous. Like if you're traveling through the state of Illinois, you have to have your gun just like if it's in your glove box, it has to be in the glove box with no ammo in it. Your magazine and your box of ammo have to be in a completely different part of the vehicle. So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
So you're saying in the state of Illinois, I'd have to like go in my glove box, get my firearm, go in my trunk, get my ammo.
Yep.
I might as well just throw the gun at them and hope to hit them with it.
Exactly. And like I said, that the gun laws in Illinois and Chicago and like Chicago, like I said, getting back to what I said earlier about the crime rates in like New York and Chicago, there's multiple killings every day in those cities, and both of those cities ban firearms.
Yeah, man, like what it is, there's some guy in a truck selling guns out of the back of his truck because there's a complete ban on firearms. Well, the government, the criminals they're very good at creating black markets for everything. So Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, but um, the how I found out about the gun laws though in Illinois, like I was telling you about, was whenever I took my concealed carry class. Um,
Oh, you sold your soul to the devil, man.
yeah. Well, anyways, whenever I took that, my instructor had said um, that, like, before you leave the state of Kentucky, you need to check and see which states honor Kentucky's concealed carry laws. And Illinois was one that doesn't. And he explained to us why, and he said that it was for that reason, like, because you have to have your firearm, like if you have it in your glove box, your magazine and your box of ammunition have to be in completely separate spots.
Oh man, yeah, a buddy of mine actually goes back and forth to Illinois. He said it's completely crazy on what he has to do to make sure he's in compliance with their state law regarding firearms.
Yeah. And so I want to get your opinion on this kind of stuff too. The whole school shooting deal, like, what is your opinions on like school shootings, how you think people can prevent them? Because I mean, as well as I do, the leftist media, their answer is always to ban AR-15s because that's the weapon of mass destruction and you can kill 500 people in a matter of seconds.
The big thing is it's responsibility as parents with these kids. Keep your firearms locked up. I mean, keep an eye on your kids. See what they're up to.
Oh yeah.
Majority of these school shootings and stuff, the kids have went into their daddy's gun closet and just filled their backpack up with everything. I think they should hold the parents accountable for them firearms being used because their kids are getting a hold of them. Their kids should not have access to any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you. And I mean, it's just as much the parents' responsibility to keep your guns safe and also to teach your children firearm safety. And I mean,
Um,
it's like let's say even if this family was a hardcore leftist family and didn't agree with guns, I still think that they should at least take it as a responsibility of a parent to explain to their kids about firearms, whether you agree with them or not. I mean, everybody needs to know at least how a firearm works or how to be safe with them.
oh yeah, I totally agree, man. I think parents. It just boils down to the responsibility of the parents. A lot of these parents nowadays they don't take responsibility. They want somebody else to do it. Um, I guess we got into a society where we're lazy and we expect somebody else to do everything for us.
Right. And like I said, I completely agree with what you just said, 100%. I forget who exactly had said this, and this is just a quote that I can't remember the direct quote, but I think it was a CNN news reporter. She was talking about how school shootings, less people would die or whatever if that person had a pistol. And I'm thinking, if anything, more people would die with a pistol because you can conceal it better and you can carry more magazines on you, more ammunition. I mean, and like I said, the same reporter was talking about like how we should ban an AR-15 because no one needs an AR-15. And I mean, I have two AR-15s. I don't need any of them. I want them, and I can have them. It's my right to have one. But like I said, and a gun is it's nothing more than a tool. In the hands of a fool, a gun is a gun is horrible. But anybody in their right mind knows that a gun is bad, and it is just a tool.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's just one of those things that guns. There are a tool. They're also a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people enjoy putting them together, and Hey, it's a stressful to go out there to a shooting range and blow up a couple targets.
Oh,
It's just
there's nothing.
I,
There's nothing better.
I haven't did anything like that for years. But when I used to as a kid, hey, plus it's a skill. You get good at it,
Mm-hmm.
and but man, these people just calm down a little bit. I mean, if they try to ban guns from everybody, who do they want to have guns? I mean, does that mean they're going to take them away from everybody completely? It's going to be impossible to do.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because where as of a few weeks ago, the federal government had banned the ability to 3D print firearms and firearm accessories. Well, thanks to our friends on the dark web, that's still a possibility. And I mean, like I said, even if they ban guns, there's still going to be firearms of some kind because,
Uh,
like you said, the federal government required that everybody take blueprints for firearms and firearm accessories off the internet for 3D printing, and they're still on there.
oh yeah, it's not going to go away. I mean, heck, we're humans, man. We get bored with something. If we want something bad enough, we'll make it.
Yeah,
That we'll
absolutely.
we'll go to like Lowe's and buy, I don't know, PCP pipe and copper pipe and make firearms out of it just to do it. Just for that sense of security. I mean, I push the Second Amendment pretty far. So I mean, on what I have, but I mean, just because I like the stuff. I mean, I like the history behind the firearms that I have. Um, the quality craftsmanship of a AK-47 is outstanding. You could put that's just a tough machine. There's other guns like my German 7 millimeter that was used in World War II.
Yeah.
There's history behind the firearms that I own. I get crazy sometimes, and my 44 Magnum. I mean, it's just you have that much power in something, and it's just awesome.
You have a 44 Magnum?
I may or I didn't told you too much. Oh yeah, yeah, I got a 44 Magnum.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
I don't keep them in my present living space just because I don't know. I just don't. I hate to see somebody come in here and
be like,
while I'm
"Ooh."
at work and take some of my stuff off. But
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have a little buggy out place. But like I said, man, it's a natural right to defend myself. I mean, but does that give me a right to go out and hurt somebody else? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and I mean, like, firearms are nothing more than a tool. And the history behind them is awesome. I mean, you think about like all these great wars that have been fought, and I mean they've been fought with firearms. And I mean,
Of course. I mean, in 1776, when you had a bunch of farmers and I don't know, just average old Joes wake up one day and say, "Hey, screw your tea tax," and we had a means to defend ourselves. Even that's probably why, if you really think about it, we will never be invaded by nobody. It's because we're a heavily armed country.
absolutely.
Um, um, I don't know, man. It's just people need to just play it safe. I think they need to educate themselves a little bit on some of this stuff, and heck, I think humanity, man, as a whole, we've lost the ability to care for each other, and we need to just calm ourselves down a little bit and stop being bullies to everybody or whatever, and stay focused in our communities. And if we see somebody acting weird or something, go talk to them. Hey, man, what's up?
Well, yeah.
Somehow,
And, Oh, I completely get what you're saying, and I mean, like we had a separate discussion last week or a week before last. The United States has turned into a bunch of softies.
of course. I mean, it's true if you think about it.
Oh, it's 100% true.
We've lost the ability to do for ourselves, and with that being, if we can't take care of ourselves, how can we help our neighbors? How can we help our communities? What we've done is bought this false hope of security, aka government,
Yeah.
which is making things completely worse because it's not a one size fits all thing, which is impossible. But well, it's just one of those things, man.
Yeah, and there's also like another common misconception where like in my mind, like I truly believe that like the a lot of Democrats and a lot of um, anti-gun advocates, I literally think that like if you were to bring an AR-15 and load it and put one in the chamber and like set it on a table, I literally think that these people think it's going to shoot itself.
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at my TV. You've been in my apartment, so you know my TV. I have a loaded 38 special under that thing.
Yeah.
I could go over there right now and probably dust about a year's worth of dust off of it. It hasn't got off the table. It hasn't decided, no more of this and start hurting people. It's just the person behind the trigger is more the more the saying.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like going back to the school shooting deal, um, people try and demonize these guns and completely miss the fact that it's the people behind the gun that's shooting.
Oh yeah, it's the people's mindsets. I mean, they want to focus on the piece of equipment. It's just like saying a drunk driver gets in his car and runs over somebody.
It's the car's
They don't-
fault.
They don't try to take the guy's car away.
Right.
They punish the individual.
Yeah, because it was the individual's fault.
The individual took that firearm, did something horribly wrong with it. Don't blame the gun.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, not everybody's bad. Don't punish everybody else for something that somebody just like a boneheaded idea that somebody decided to do.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, hey.
There was a video. It was in Chicago, as a matter of fact. I saw it on Facebook. It was the Chicago Police Department. This guy, he had brought 2 or 3 liberal media anchors into the police station, and he had brought out a fully automatic MP5. He brought out a few handguns, and I want to say he brought out an AR-15 too, and he loaded all of them and chambered around in each of them and put them on the table. And he said, okay, let's wait until they decide to shoot themselves. And he stood there and was watching the table and just looking at these news anchors and just looking back at the table. Oh, it was great. Like, you could tell that they were getting pissed off. But, I mean, it's sad that people have to do that to explain something to somebody. I mean, that's like something you learn in kindergarten.
Yeah, I mean that's common sense. I mean, a piece of machinery is not going to just wake itself up and start doing something stupid. It's not maximum overdrive. Some alien's not going to possess firearms and they go around doing crazy stuff.
No, definitely not. Like I said, it's sad that the whole country's turned into a bunch of softies and I'm gonna completely change the topic too. The freaking NRA, these people like the children from the Parkland shooting who started that March Against Our Lives or whatever. I mean, it's for them to be kids, it's amazing from for how much of a cult following they have. But they're so stupid because, I mean, they talk about all this stuff and they want to blame the NRA. The NRA, the only reason that they are there is to make sure that the government does not take our guns away. I could agree to disagree with you on that, but I mean, NRA is just a organization. I mean, they can't do anything. No, and
I don't know why people's got to go blame them for anything. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, what it is people I guess these people finally realize that guns are just a tool, and you don't need a gun to kill somebody. But they've been proven wrong, and so they need something else to blame it on. And I guess the NRA is the next thing or whatever. But you know, I mean, the NRA has been around since what, 1800s maybe.
I don't know, man.
They've
Probably.
been around for a long time. I'm a supporter of the NRA, but you know, I mean, it's like to hear these people blame them for like school shootings or uh, criminals getting guns. It's just it just blows me away because I mean, you know, criminals can get a gun anywhere.
Yeah, that's like me. Like that's like a 1,000-pound guy blaming Pizza Hut for
Him
his
getting
weight
fat.
problem.
That's right.
You know, the NRA is just a voice of certain, you know, group of people. You know, like you said, you're a supporter, so that's their voice. I mean, they didn't just back off and just you know think like take a timeout in a timeout spot or something.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, Nate. I mean, and it's good to know that, like, I mean, and see, like, this is one thing, like, I'm sure that there are some disagreements that we have on some things, but we can have a civil conversation about it.
Yeah, like me personally, I will never support the NRA. They're a bunch of stupid people. And I say that back in the '80s, they did some infringements of the Second Amendment and started doing these little unnecessary background checks on firearms and all that crap. And that sort of gave the left a little bit of leverage to start pushing for gun control.
Okay. See,
But I don't think they intentionally meant to do it. But you know,
it's just one of those things that it kind of happened.
Yeah, that's a little stupid Reagan.
Yeah. See, like, I had no idea about that, but you know, I mean, like I said, it.
Hey, an infringement's an infringement.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
where I come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, Into the Weird podcast. We're going to be talking about this stuff all the time. Tune in. We just posted a new episode. You should go check that out. Like, comment, subscribe. And also hit that notification bell right beside the subscribe button. You'll be the first to know whenever we upload a video. Into the Weird podcast. Weirdness for one, weirdness for all.
Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by a liquid that comes in a glass bottle. It tastes like tea, has a little bit of lemon in it. Pretty good stuff, guys. So it's getting me through this episode.
I can't. Hang on. Let me take a guess at that. Does it start with a T?
Yeah, this one does.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying something different. I usually get the regular, but this has lemon in it or twisted. It's like a mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that I don't know, man. We just have to get one of those things. You know, with this Second Amendment, I don't ever see it changing. Even if it does, it's just a piece of paper. As humans, we still have the right to defend ourselves. So
absolutely. And let me ask you this though: there's always that debate where, like, you know, maybe you should do a more thorough background check or something like that. Do you think that, like, a more lengthy, I mean, like, you know, you can only search someone's background for so long, but let's say the leftists got what they wanted and got a more lengthy background check. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about that?
You know, to be honest with you, man, that's what's going to cause more problems. That's going to cause too much, like more money than it does. I don't think it's ever going to help any. I mean, the background check's pretty thorough now. What they'll probably end up doing is making it longer. 5 years from now, that it'd be longer, and eventually you'd be on a waiting list until you're 90 years old trying to get a firearm
well, it's
to protect yourself with.
Right, and you know, I mean, it's like, you know, you have to get on a waiting list for a suppressor. You have to pay, like, your tax stamp and all that stuff, which I know your stance on that, but if you want to talk about it. Go ahead.
Man, I don't know if you want time to do it. All it is a tax. Like, why should I have to pay a tax for a piece of equipment that may protect my life sometime?
Right.
You know, that's like a natural right, and you selling it back to me. Like me catching rainwater and you making me pay for that rainwater. It's some kind of analogy like that. That's totally stupid.
Yeah.
You know, if I want a suppressor, you know what I'm gonna go do? I'm gonna go find that guy in the alley. Hey man, what you got? Give me my crap. I'll go home.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I want a suppressor. I don't need one. I just want one because I can have one. But I mean, I would have to pay a tax stamp, and I'd have to pay for the actual suppressor, and on top of that, I'd have to be on a waiting list for at least 6 months, waiting on the ATF to approve my application for a suppressor.
And you know the other thing, your name will go on a list. Your name will go on a list of what kind of firearms you have, what kind of suppressor you have, anything. Your name will go on a list. And guess what's going to happen when they start confiscating guns? They're going to go down that list and be like, oh, well, you're a concealed weapons holder. You're on a list. This is what you have. Right. They're coming for you guys first. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I hate that, God forbid that ever happens, but I agree with you.
I got your back.
Thanks, Nate. But, like I said, God forbid that ever happens, but, yeah, I mean, that's how it would be, I mean, they would just pull a file, and, go after the people who were in the system.
Well, here's another thing. This is how we did it in Iraq and Afghanistan. We went to the Iraqi government. They have to somewhat register firearms. So when we went over there, we knew exactly who had firearms over there.
Okay, see, that's cool. I had no idea.
The Germans did it when they invaded Paris, stuff like that. They knew who had firearms. They went to the sporting goods stores or wherever and found out who owned firearms. The greatest movie in the 1980s was Red Dawn. The guy that wrote that book brought that whole concept up. I was like, wait a second. Have you seen that movie before?
I never saw it.
Well, what the Russians did, they went to all the sporting goods stores and found out who owned firearms. And guess whose houses they went to first?
Everyone who was registered who had a firearm.
Don't get me wrong. If you want to go for the concealed weapons class for the training, that's what I did. I didn't take the test or anything. I just went for the training and all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, go for it. Do some training. Learn how your firearm works and how to load it, shoot it, that type of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that goes back to like the whole gun safety education and responsibility for parents. If you want to expose your kids to firearms, teach them about them. Talk to them about them.
Of course, treat it like sex ed or whatever, the birds and the bees. Well, man and gun. Do some kind of a thing where, hey, there's guns that exist out in the world. Be watchful for them.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's I completely agree with what you're saying though about the government. If they did want to do a firearms ban, it would be the first people they would go for is people who had them registered in databases. Completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would do it. If I was some dictator or whatever, that's exactly how I'd do it. I want to go after the people that will hurt me first. Mm-hmm. I'll go get them first.
Right, and but and see something else too is it's always those weapons that people have that aren't registered.
Yeah, that's the only payoff in the long run. I'll take my chances. I mean, I'll take that risk. I mean,
same here, man. Like I said, if the government was to come to me and be like, "You got to give up your firearms, dog," I'm at least gonna take my chances and, try and put up a fight.
Well, hey, all you have to do is ask them if they have a warrant, and if they say no, drop them.
Yeah. Actually, no. See, what you would have to do is you'd have to let them in your house first. So be like, yeah, sure, come on in, and just have them stay
No.
there. But and then once they're in your
No.
house, shoot them. Because
No, if you let them in, yeah. If they say no warrant, hey, if they don't turn around and walk the other way, they start trying to rush in there, just drop them.
yeah. Well, like I said, it's I hate to think that kind of shit would happen, but at the same time, it's a very big possibility that it could.
I mean, I hope we don't either, because it'll cause so much crap. There'd be pretty much a war in the street, pretty much, and I don't want no war.
Oh.
I'm not gonna take sides. I'll stay neutral and just collect stuff off dead bodies and stuff.
You'd be a scavenger.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Guys, Into the Weird podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying. Let us know down in the comment section below what you think of this video, what your opinions on guns are, what your opinions on the gun debate is, what you think should happen. Also, if you want to get on an episode, our email address is in the biography or in the description of the video, and you can go ahead and email us if you want to get on for an episode, and we'll get something set up.
Oh, guns, man. I think I'm gonna just get me a 3D printer to print my own. Heck, why not?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Give me some of those ghost guns.
Make some ghost lowers.
Oh, I ain't making loads. I'm making the whole thing. I have to make it in pieces, though.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that I've kind of figured out with mine, though, is, if I'm going to be building something, it's going to take a long time, and I'm probably going to have to piece it together. Matter of fact, I made Josh a speed loader for his AR over the weekend, and it took 4 hours to print out one piece.
How many pieces was it?
There's 3 pieces. The first piece where you put the magazine in, it took about 3 hours, and then the second piece took 4 hours, and then I made the little pusher that you put in, that you just slide the bullets into. I made that, and it took about 20 minutes.
That's awesome, man. I might have to make me a little holster for my 38 or something.
I could probably do it. Thingiverse, they haven't got rid of holsters, speed loaders, and all kinds of other accessories. Just guns and magazines.
Oh, by the way, guys, you can't buy any gun parts, but hey, you want to make gun accessories? That's okay.
Yeah, it's like, guys, you can't make guns, but if you want to make gun accessories, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, I might have you 3D print me a speed loader for my 38, but
I can do it.
I'd have to see how much gap I have in it.
You'll be able to see that speed loader tomorrow. I'm gonna bring it to him tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome, man. He's probably like, oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, man. Knowing your luck though, by the end of the day tomorrow, you probably have to make about 20 of them for everybody else.
Probably. But anyways, like I said, it's cool that that we have the ability to build like gun parts and shit like that. Or even build guns.
Yeah, stuff like that. 3D printers, man, is gonna be awesome. I think that's the future. If I want a phone case, I'll go make a phone case.
Oh, absolutely.
If I want a Raspberry Pi case, I make it. You can make pretty much. We're getting to the point where you can almost make food stuff out of 3D printers now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a Krabby Patty off SpongeBob. Okay, print the dang thing.
Give me a few hours. I'll have you one. No, yeah, these 3D printers, they're cool, and I watched a video another video on YouTube talking about like how the federal government had banned like AR lowers and stuff like that. The guy who did the interview or did the video on YouTube had said that within probably the next 5 years, like because of how affordable they are now, he said within the next 5 years, every household will have a 3D printer.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I was gonna get a 3D printer about 3 years ago. And those things were like $1,000 for the one you got.
Oh yeah.
Now they're like $250.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just awesome. For $1,000 now, you can probably buy some awesome printer that does 4D printing by now anyway.
I mean, you could probably buy for $1,000. You could probably buy one that uses metal. Like you could buy a CNC machine.
Of course. I was looking on the other day. I thought about getting a laser engraving machine. I'm like, $200. That same machine 2 years ago was
$5,000 probably.
Was $1,300.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the free market. I know a lot of liberals don't like that stuff, especially talking about capitalism. They don't like it, but I enjoy it.
Right.
You know, if I go out and buy something now for $3, 2 years ago that was $85. That's pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, it's like who the hell wants to spend $1,000 on something when you can just wait and get the same thing for nothing, basically.
Yeah, I'm hoping Donald Trump gets these tariffs figured out because, man, I'm sure missing my cheap Chinese electronic parts right now.
Have you not been able to order any?
They're a little bit more expensive. Instead of taking like 3 weeks to get here, they'll take almost 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get that solved because I gotta have my cheap stuff. I'm sorry, they're not made in America, but you know
I want made in America. Then fuck you.
Yeah, I gotta have my my cheap stuff so I can actually buy more stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, money talks.
Hey, but I know a guy that has a 3D printer now, so I'll be like, hey, you need to make me some stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know, man. You need to get some of that that hemp plastic stuff now for your 3D printer.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Hey, here's what we need to do. Like one weekend, you print out about 1,000 hemp plastic straws. We'll get in my car, drive out west, and sell those bad boys.
Dude, I bet you
come back. We come back millionaires, man.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, like, and you know, something else that, you know, one thing that I don't understand is like, talking about like how people want to ban plastic straws or some shit like that. All that is, which I mean, like, you know, I understand like straws get in the ocean or whatever, and
yeah,
but that could too. I mean, just be I'm trying to think of the word. It could be like a
misleading thing, or
well, I mean, not even that, but it could be like a misinterpreted thing by like, well, I mean, they've got to go to landfills and stuff. So I mean, like, are these landfills dumping them in the ocean or what?
Well, to be honest with you, do you know who got this little band straws thing going?
I have no idea.
Like an 8-year-old kid.
Are you serious?
It was a school science fair project, and they just ran with it. So
Well, I guess you got to have something to complain about, you know.
But live in a
perfect country where you can do and say what you want. I guess you got to have something to complain about.
But on the other side of this, it's actually created ideals, and people are making money by making metal straws. They're 3D printing hemp plastic straws. But hemp plastic is so hard to get because the 1980 drug war, and they banned hemp. So, but that actually created a free market where people can get straws that are made out of metal, and everything else, renewables. So on one hand, it's bad, but on the other hand, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like I said, I'm not up to date on the whole straw debate or whatever. I'm too interested in looking at what people are launching into space and shit.
Yeah, that's where I drive. That's where I go toward too. That's one reason why I like talking about weird stuff, just to get my mind off the bull crap. But every once in a while, it's good to talk about it, and me and you discuss it and everything.
And like not everybody likes to talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good to find people who do because you come up with good ideals and stuff like that.
Well, speaking of weird things, apparently, a few years ago, before Dale Earnhardt Jr. retired, he saw a ghost,
Saw a ghost, huh?
and it kept him from crashing. So was this his dad looking out for him, or was he high off gas fumes, or we never know. But that was a big topic in some of the, I guess, the paranormal groups here today, from what I read.